Good morning, people. Hi. Today, I want to continue on the theme of success and successful habits. So, yesterday we talked about, or in my last video, we spoke about, or I spoke about um, successful habits. That some people want to be successful, but they refuse to adapt certain habits which would actually make them successful because we tend to be a slave to our own habits. Okay? So I want to share the story of a gentleman that my partner and I have the privilege of knowing, and we stayed with him recently when we were moving, when we were between houses, because we had to empty our whole old house before we got the keys to our new house 1 week later. So in that 1 week time gap, we stayed with a friend, older friend of ours. What we noticed was, or before I tell you that, what I should tell you is that in the Netherlands here, older people tend to suffer from loneliness. It's actually a problem here. Older people, and I think students as well, but mostly older folks. So it's a problem here. But with him, he falls in the age group, but he still did not have that problem. He doesn't have that problem because of certain habits. So he managed to achieve success in staying relevant and not falling into a negative statistical category of older people being lonely because of certain habits. So while we were staying with him for the week, we noticed something. Well, I took note of his habits because, I was really observing certain things that he did. He plays the piano really well, but that's not the habit that prevents him from being lonely. He's extremely involved with people. People are important for him. He loves people without saying it. So he's extremely involved with people. He would call people up to ask them how they're doing. He is involved in volunteering work. So he volunteers his time for so many different activities to help ethnic minority, ethnic LGBT youth coming to the Netherlands, refugees. He's doing so many things. He's involved in a museum group where he visits the museum with these guys every now and then. He's involved with musical group where he would visit musical activities, theater, and he has his fixed days that he does these activities. He is so involved. But one of the most important thing that I noticed was my partner usually come home quite late from the business, and it's too late, so I go to bed. I'm tired, I go to bed. He wouldn't go to bed. He stayed up every single night. He waited on him. He would chat with Thomas before Thomas go off to bed. And it's amazing. He did what I remember my mom did to me when I would come in, in the late evenings from work. She would sit around the table with me. We chat about the day. We laugh at the different activities that happen throughout the day and all the jokes that we would get and the funny things that people do. We just laugh and we chat. And he did that with Thomas. And I was like, oh my God, that blew me away, really. It was just amazing. So that's a very nice habit of his. I'm not saying that people should do that to prevent loneliness. Go to bed when you want to go to bed. But it's just amazing that he has these habits, and these are primarily the habits which prevents him from being lonely. And there's one particular habit of his which I truly appreciate and which blew me away because I didn't know that people were like that. I hope that they would be like that, but I didn't know. He would tell you what he appreciates about you. So from time to time, he would say, Kevin, what I really appreciate that you care about me. I really appreciate that you show so much interest in me. And I was like, really? Am I doing that? I tend to have the mother complex. I take care of people. Um, and sometimes I don't even know that I'm doing it. And he would really highlight it and tell me how much he appreciates it. So that's just wonderful to know. And no wonder his life he's a very successful person and he's very abundant in many ways. And for me, it just goes to show that who you are is what you have and what you get from the life, because that's who he is. He's very people friendly, he's very loving, he is very trusting, and he is very appreciative of people and what they do for him. And he has an abundant life for that reason. And these are successful habits. I'm sure there's also something else I really need to say, because I think this is his talent and I help him to discover what his talent was. And his talent is listening. He's a very good listener. Very good listener. I noticed that about him. And he pays careful attention when you're talking. Really. So I tell you, I don't know if it came with age or practice, but these are habits that I want to listen to. I want to adapt them. I want them in my life. I'm practicing them now. But for me, it really takes practice to become like that, really. So that's what I want to say about habits. You will not get it in the first instant. Some habits will just be above you and you have to rise to meet those habits. But if you practice it, and even when you fail to do it, you go back to it and you practice it and you practice and you continue. If you do that for 66 days straight, it will stick. But if during that 66 days you miss some days or some moments or some times or opportunities to practice it, don't consider yourself a failure. Just continue doing it. Because successful habits, they don't necessarily come naturally. You have to practice them. And that's what I want to say about success and habits today. Thank you very much. Stay tuned for more videos like this.